Oh my goodness. Ancient Stone Age. This is going to be a fun video, maybe two. Ancient Stone Age. Modern world. Now postmodern world. I have a Guilford talk to do, and I want to give you a context of what you're going to be seeing here. And it's a very excellent opportunity. It always changes because I have new pieces to come in all the time. And that's the fun thing about it. But I can tell you this pile is a pile of Guilfords. A Guilford talk, if you will. Now that silver that we took a look at right here, it's all silver. Early American silver. It's not my collection. We're familiar with boxes like this in this community, which are a blessing many times. But from Texas, this box came in and it was full of this silver. Are you kidding me? That's a pile of treasure right there. But this is a pile of ancient treasure as well. We're going to do a little bit of a Guilford talk, and this is the reason why. And then I'll put into context what's going on with this and what on earth I'm going to have to do with it. God knows. And there's big stuff in here, full ounce pieces of silver, of which my focus is not working at all. But there's big stuff in here. That's like the biggest coin in there. I can't get the focus in. That's okay. Sweet stuff. So while I'm looking at it, I mean, there's Benjamins in there. There's Walking Liberties, silver quarters, Mercury dimes, Barber quarters, Barber halves, Kennedy silver. Unbelievable. I mean, just take a look for yourself, those of you who know coins. And my buddy in Texas, who I've done some trading with, and he's bought some artifacts from me, actually just said he wants to send it and be a blessing. I'm blown away. You cannot get away with sending me old American silver. I'm going to have to return the favor. I know he said not to, but listen, I've got some artifacts that are great that need a good home. And so if you happen to tune in here and you're the one who sent this, I'm not going to mention name, you'll know. I'm going to just send you out some artifacts. Don't mention it. As you said to me, don't mention it. You said to me about this. You said don't mention it. Are you kidding me? Some of you who collect coins, you know how much that's worth. That's a lot of money right there. I mean, I work a blue-collar job. I do my best to provide for my family. But I'm going to tell you what, that's a lot of money right there. And that has an intrinsic value to it. Mercury dimes. I'm going to tell you, look, old American silver, just worth looking at. But the reason I'm doing a Guilford talk today, and Guilfords are always worthwhile, but in my region, where I am and where I live, there's something special about them. And here's one of the reasons that I'm going to do the talk is because I've only seen one, maybe two, but one for sure, Richard Whittle of Richard's Rock House, do a video and where he highlights and features a specific style, and that's it. He's always got price tags on there up for sale. None of these are from my display box, and it's certainly not all of them, that's for sure. Guilfords were made here, Eastern Central North Carolina. That is for sure. So as I look at these today, I don't even know how I'll begin to move through it. But as I look at these, I can say this for sure. Many people, if I can get my focus working, there's a Guilford round, look at this thing, it's big. Many people across the country are finding incredible and have found incredible artifacts. I mean to tell you, incredible pieces. No doubt about it, but I don't see them finding Guilfords. They find pieces that make me jealous and envious, but jealous in a good way. I'm happy for them. I don't want it. I don't want their stuff, but they find really great stuff, and it makes me happy for the whole community. Look at the cortex on this piece. They just left it there. And so with that said, There's no doubt about it. But I don't see him finding these, which we call here, and which Overstreet calls Guilfords. This pile, you're going to see Guilford Straights, Guilford Rounds, and the oldest Guilford Yumas, for sure. This one is a Guilford Round. Nice piece to start things off. It's a nice piece. And so as we plug along here, I'm probably going to pull out some pieces here and there and just keep moving forward. I found this piece here at Notchville too. And we are threatening for some rain. Let it come. We need some heavy rain. We've been in, I guess, virtual drought. A lot of these Guilfords, as you can see, most all of them are made in rhyolite. Guilfords that are made in quartz around here are very rare. Super rare. And so, although many people are finding fantastic and great stuff, kudos to them, I have seen that they don't find a lot of Guilfords. Guilford Round, Guilford Straight, it's just some good stuff. And so I figured I would highlight some of this stuff, move through it, have a little bit of discussion about it, because I've really enjoyed. I always enjoy when I see a specific style together that I do not find, such as Richard's Rockhouse. So you do those videos; those are great. Richard's Rockhouse, if he happens to watch this, he seems too busy digging and finding as many artifacts as anybody ever does. But he used to do a couple videos, and he taught quite a bit about the virtue of the points and stuff like that, and it was really informational. I really love those videos and love to see them again, or any of you. The base of this here just has the slightest accent on a Guilford Yuma. Could be a Guilford Straight though, but I guess it probably would qualify here as a Guilford Yuma on that point. And I know the site there at Saponi, they make a lot of Guilford Yumas, so we'll leave it at that. Look at this big piece right here. Give you an idea of the way it's made in this natural light. I'm still completely blown away at that silver, everybody. So the community is just generous. I mean, I couldn't even believe it. This one package, I mean, what on earth? And I'll call you Texas. Won't use your name. What on earth? Benjamins love them. Huge ounce pieces. It's craziness. Love old American silver, but and he didn't ask for a thing, and he really meant it. He meant it to be a blessing for the channel and things like that. So I just go forward and do things to highlight some of this stuff. For those of you who do not find Guilfords, and I don't see them, I check out your channels. I check out from here to California and different people's finds, and don't see the Guilfords. I'd love to. So here in North Carolina, South Carolina, I see some guys finding Guilfords, and they're happy to do it. Look at this Guilford straight base. But not a whole lot. Not a tremendous amount. So I'm just going to line them right up here. I get busy looking at them and not watching the film. I got to watch them through the film and see if we can do this a little bit better. You know what's funny? As I line these up and just put them up for display, there's a young fellow all the way out in I think California that I'll put a shout out to, and I mean young. I mean a little boy who loves to watch Indian Trace videos, and he grabs his artifacts and lays out the rocks and starts to talk about them. I mean, that's what it's about, inspiring young as well as old to just appreciate these more. Look at this Guilford. There are Guilford stems represented in Overstreet, I will say that. This one lends itself to a Guilford stem, but it is a Guilford. It could be a Guilford straight base. You can see by the patina that that's an old base, but you can see where it's relieved so they could haft it right in. But I'm going to tell you what, bottom line is this point was ready and fixing to do some business. Absolutely. Probably two-part, looking at my time, two-part video. The reason I'm going to do some of these is another important reason. And the young out there, there's nothing wrong with that. I will caution on many of my political interest links for language because it's adult intensity, subject matter concerning politics and things like that. But I'm going to tell you what. Look at these points here. Guilfords. I do that and do an effort to do these display videos so I can specifically get up and post some political interest links. Why? Because the MSM, the mainstream media, do such a pitiful, disgraceful, absolute disgrace to the truth. It's sickening for people who do their homework. Look at this relief right up the middle of this Guilford. Maybe they just worked off the edges and it appears a relief, but I don't really think it's a flute. Flint's Ball mentioned that to me before. That's not really a flute. They're just working off the edges, and it was from a flake. It's a Guilford Yuma, though. You can see the base of this. Found at the Archaic. And so partially I do a lot of these display videos so that I can make sure that I make it possible for someone out there who doesn't really know where to go or where to find the right news about current events and things that they need to know about, their family should know about, when if they could hear a voice that they trust, tell them for sure that the mainstream media are disgraceful. And they do tell you absolute lies. You want one, for example, as I finish this video up? There's so many great points here to pull from in this roundup. Look at this. Found at Hidden Hill. I was there yesterday. Didn't find a whole lot. Like I said, we need rain. Just missing a little off the tip, but this is a Guilford round all day long. Here's one. Patagonia, well-respected clothing line, well-respected outdoors society, got all mad at Donald Trump signing some executive orders to turn over a couple federally reserved areas back to the state of Utah, back actually into the hands of Native peoples, Native American peoples, as well as to the state to make those decisions and not have those two preserves federalized anymore. Why were the two preserves federalized? Well, they won't tell you anything about that. Obama, by executive order, set up another couple national parks to the tune of 553 million acres. Look at this point. Stupidity. Because we can't just go out there and push aside peoples who have strived to hold on to lands for thousands of years and have gotten beaten out by, I would say, treaty after treaty and agreement that have been broken by our government. So, yes, Trump stepped in and signed some papers to release those lands back and take those reserve areas off of the Federal Reserve and release them back into the hands of who can make the best decisions about them, whether it's the state or the Indian nations there. It's deep matter. Land dispute issues are always deep matter, but if you want to know who's on the side of right, go to the advocacies for the North American Indian, listen to what they have to say about it. Or listen to what they had to say about the decisions that Obama made, which are not kind, and that's to say the least. So that's just one of multiple lies that the mainstream media tells. Not by accident. What the disgraceful part is it's on purpose. And if you've never had anybody, and I've said it many times, tell you straight up, consider that. Study it out. You will see, and you will just be shocked. The Guilford point. Here's the Guilford Yuma from Saponi. Just lends itself to Guilford Yuma, which is the convex. Guilford round, Guilford Yuma, Guilford straight base. Guilford straight, Guilford round, just to give you an idea here. So this one's getting a little long. We're going to have to figure out how we can organize them. Here's a big piece right here. Look at this, and we'll finish with this one. As I get ranting and raving about that, because it's really distasteful to me, to my children, to my family, that all the syndicated networks are either coerced, blackmailed, or paid off to purposely lie to the American people. That's disgraceful. And how do people know if they're lies? Do your homework. Listen for yourself to what the President of the United States says himself. Start there and then prove it out. Watch his actions, prove out his promises, and you're going to start to see a familiar, sad trend. And we don't have to accept that for our children and for our families. And that's what began in the year 2016. Here's a row of Guilfords, that's for sure, right? The Guilford point, not found a lot across the country, but certainly found here. Look at a whole point. This came from one bin. I mean, I can't even imagine it. So from the silver, thanks and shout out to the beginnings of a great Guilford talk. I appreciate you tuning in to Indian Trace. Hope you find out there.